Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, Nicola.
Hi,
Nice to meet you
hi.
in person.
Nice to meet you. I can hear you now.
So, my name is Tawa. I have communicated with you through email.
Okay.
Mr. Batterton, the head of our project implementation team.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We can directly communicate through English. He understands English very well.
Okay, fine.
So,
Let Tawa introduce
so,
project.
So we are trying to implement tannery project in Mongolia, and so we have communicated with Sache, and also we have communicated some professional vendors, manufacturers of tannery equipments, and we more or less estimated our project capex, and we have produced some documents necessary for such.
Beg your pardon. You say tannery?
Tannery.
Oh, okay, okay. You know, we are officially supporting the Italian Association of Tannery Equipment that's called ASSOMAC. I don't know if you know them.
Okay.
Okay.
You know
Officially supporting. What does that mean? For example, can you?
Tannery Equipment
ASSOMAC.
Association.
It's the association between the Italian manufacturer of tannery equipment and you know, the equipment to work leather and so on.
Yes, and by officially supporting. I'm sorry. By officially supporting, what did you mean? For example, did you implement some projects with ASSOMAC or?
Well, that means that I mean, when there is for instance, a fair in Italy of the tannery equipment, we are going over there to support their associate. That means Italian manufacturer to deal maybe with client for suppliers credit or something like that. But frankly speaking, we had opportunity to discuss about small supplies. So I mean, a few €100,000, €1,000,000, nothing larger actually, just small supplies of their equipment.
Okay. So for this, of course, when you are dealing with manufacturers directly, it's much lesser. The amount is much less, and it's you say the suppliers credit.
Yes, you know, when the supplies are in the range between a few 100,000 up to let's say 5-10 millions, we are used to deal with suppliers credit. When the project's amount is over, let's say 10 millions, we usually record to buyer's credit. That means the involvement, the main difference is that with buyer's credit, there is involvement of a local bank, in this case, Mongolian bank, that acts as agent bank. So, I mean, the Italian bank or the Italian pool of banks that are going to finance the project is going to finance the Mongolian bank, and then the Mongolian banks is going to finance the Mongolian company for the larger project.
Yes.
Okay. And right now we are considering buyer's credit. And but we in the first place we were talking about project financing with Sace. But
Okay, project finance. Yeah.
Sace, yes, but Sace indicated that they would like to implement the project in a modular basis. So they didn't like they wanted to finance the project through 3 phases, and they
Okay.
have put a cap on the first phase financing amount. So it's more or
Okay.
less 50, 60
Okay.
million.
May,
So
may I give you an indication? I mean, it's not a law, it's just a custom. Huh? Okay, project finance, generally speaking, is acceptable to such and Italian banks when there, I mean, the revenues are almost certain. For instance, production of electricity. If you are going to install a power station, then there is government engaged to purchase your electricity. The rate is fixed, the consumption is fixed, so you have a specific revenue for the next, let's say, 20 years because there is a governmental concession. Otherwise, for instance, a motorway, you have a calculation on how many vehicles are going to pass, which is the rate for transit, for a bridge or for a motorway and so on. So, I mean, when the revenues are almost certain, there is possibility to arrange a project finance. For instance, in these days, we are doing a waste to energy project in Albania, 128 million. But I mean, there is a 20 years concession by the Ministry of Environment that engaged to purchase the electricity and so on and so on. So the capital city engaged to provide waste, rubbish, you incinerate and produce electricity, and there is the government, well, actually the state-owned electricity authority that purchase, and that works. But when you are going to arrange an industry for production or whatever, I mean, a phone rather than any consumer goods, I mean, it's too much dependent on the market. So, I mean, it's very difficult for an Italian bank or for Sace to acknowledge how can it work, that project. For instance, you are going to 10 leather. How is the market for that leather? I mean, we are not prepared to know from here how is the, I mean, the expected revenues, profit and so on for such an enterprise. So it works only if we have a sort of sovereign guarantee. In that case, we can approach project finance. Otherwise, frankly speaking, it's very, very difficult to get involvement by banks, such and so on, for a project finance not supported by a government, a sovereign guarantee or something like that.
buyer's credit in negotiators. No, it's project
Okay, let me give you some information on our project.
Yeah.
Our company is state 100% state-owned company for the implementation of this project.
Okay.
This project tannery with this waste water treatment plant.
Yeah.
This is one of high priority projects in our government. It is in our government policy till, for example, 2025 policy. So at first, the government is ready to issue this sovereign guarantee.
Yeah.
Yes. Regarding the market, for example, in other words, revenue, we are, our purpose is to sell this product from our project and factory to
Mhm.
Italy.
European.
So first prior to Italy and of course to other countries
Okay, okay.
such as China, maybe Russia.
Mhm.
We have our survey on this.
Okay.
Yeah. But highest priority is Italy.
Mhm.
So therefore, we are looking for Italian equipment, Italian technology.
Mhm.
Mm. Therefore, mm, we are connected with this Sace, for example.
Okay.
In this way,
Okay.
because of Italian technology, because of Italian market.
I got it. I got it. So let's suppose that we have, I mean, you have, or we, if we are discussing
No,
like
we
a joint enterprise. I mean, we have an expense budget of 100, let's say 100, for
Mhm.
instance. Huh?
Mhm.
I guess, I imagine that from these expensive, a share of it are maybe Italian equipment. A share of those costs are local costs for
Yes.
maybe building something like that.
Yes.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
Do you already have an idea which is the share out of 100 of, let's say, import of equipment
Yes,
and
yes.
local cost?
Yes, of course. We already have all information on equipment
Mhm.
from an Italian company,
Mhm.
and around 60 million euro, yeah, for three tanneries and five tanneries and one this waste
Water
factory, wastewater.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And is a company that would act as a main a general contractor. So I mean, probably the manufacturer will be several companies.
Yes,
But
yes,
there's a company that acts as a general contractor, so they buy whatever they need, and you have only one supplier.
No, at this moment,
Okay.
at this moment,
Okay.
the manufacturers are, of course, several companies, around six or seven. No, everything. But we are just now we have our situation is like this, but we want to make contact with these 6 or 7 manufacturers separately, directly.
Okay.
Direct, yeah, because we want to minimize our
Cost, of course.
yes cost, yes,
Yeah.
buying cost. Yeah.
Okay. And the remaining local cost, an
Local
estimation?
cost, if this local cost change,
Okay, local cost is, our estimation is around maybe 40 to 50%. We are not yet, these costs are not yet finalized, it's all preliminary, but just to give you an idea, 40-50%. So
Okay. And another important question is, which is the debt equity ratio? That means how out of these, let's say, I don't know, 100 that we have to spend.
Yes.
How many money can you put of
Yes.
your own equity, and how much do you need from such an Italian banks?
yes, so for this, right now, let's say if the project capex is 100 million, we have our own equity of 15 million.
15?
15, yeah, 15%.
Okay. I must, so I mean, you do not have enough to cover the local cost.
Yes, we don't have, not enough. Yes.
Because there is a maximum possibility to cover local cost. it could be in the range of 25% of the whole intervention by such an Italian banks. So let's suppose such an Italian banks would provide 100. That means 70%, 70 should be Italian equipment, and 30, well, let's say 70-75%, and 25-30 local cost, not more. So I mean, we have to try to understand if you can cover with your own capacity the difference between the maximum amount that can come from Italy to support the local cost.
Okay. It means 70 to 75% for equipment. Yeah?
For equipment, imported equipment.
25 to 30% for local cost.
Yeah.
That's all coverage from Italy.
Yeah. So, and then there is the let's say the also the debt to equity share, because frankly speaking, there's no a strict rule. It depends by the capacity of the debtor, because several times it is required that the share of equity is higher than 15. But in case we have a sovereign guarantee, it may change. Okay.
Okay.
So we should like to understand which kind of sovereign guarantee. So I mean, is a ministry or a region, which is the entity that would get Ministry of Finance. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask you one question on the share of this finance? Yeah. You said that 85. So from 100 million euro. So we have our equity is 15 million. So 15% is our equity, and from this, and we are looking for the financing of the 85%.
Okay.
And Sacha expressed that they would like to finance at the first stage 50 to 60 million.
50 to 60?
Yeah. So 50 to 60 million, let's say they would like to finance 60 million euro.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 15 million, Sacha is looking to give us 60 million. Firstly, the remaining 25 million is what we need to find. We need to find this remaining 25. Secondly, from this 60 million Sacha is providing, we can, the 70% could go to equipment, and remaining 25 or 30% could go to local cost. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But this is by the way, project financing scheme.
Yeah, we were initially we were talking in percentage, but let's switch to million euro. Huh? Okay, so you say that 70, no, which is the amount of the expected equipment, Italian equipment?
It's around 45 million. Yeah, 45, maybe 47.8, maybe, let's say.
Okay, let's say 45. And you say the 45. And something like 20 million of local cost.
Yes. Can cover by such a, yes.
No, I mean, the whole project would be 45 imported goods and 20 local cost for a total of 65.
Yeah. Right,
Is it
like this, yes.
your budget, let's say?
Yeah.
45 imported goods plus 20 local cost for a total of 65 is correct?
Okay, yes.
You
correct.
mean the whole project capex?
Yeah.
No. Let's say whole project capex is 100 million. 100.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess it was 100%.
No,
Instead you
100
say
million.
100 million. 100 million.
Yeah. From this 100 million, we have equity of 15 million.
Okay. So
And we have equity of 15, we have 15 million euro of our
okay.
cash. And
Okay.
Sacha would like to finance 60 million.
Okay. So I beg your pardon. Out of these 100 millions,
Yes.
100 millions, 45 millions imported
Equipment.
good
Yes.
equipment and 55
Local cost.
55 local cost.
Yes.
55. Okay.
Yes,
55.
55. Yeah. 20.
Okay. While Sache told you that, I mean, according to the Mongolian sovereign guarantee, they are supposed to cover a maximum of 60 million.
Okay, please,
Yes,
excuse me.
around that.
Excuse me. Please forget about Sacha at this moment.
Okay.
So can you calculate that how much we can get from how much we can get the possible amount from Sacha? Now we can you calculate now on the basis of total cost of 100 million? And the equipment is 45.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah. Local cost is 55.
Okay. So I guess that let's forget by the moment creditworthiness. Okay. Creditworthiness.
Okay.
Let's suppose that Sache, I mean, could give any amount to the Mongolian government. Let's suppose.
Yes.
Let's suppose.
We have sovereign guarantee.
Okay.
Yes,
If you import from Italy 45 million.
Yes.
I guess that so something like 15 million, maybe 15 million local cost.
55.
Yeah, maximum. That means 45 plus, let's say 15, we can reach 60 million.
60.
60. So probably, I'm not sure, of course, I should discuss with Sache.
Yes, of course.
Probably the 60 million that Sache told you is not due because the fact that Mongolian government doesn't work more than 60 million. Probably it's not that the point. The point is that if you have to import from Italy only, forget me, only 45 million, they can support a maximum of 15 million local cost. So 45 plus 15, that means the maximum intervention by the Italian Export Credit Agency is more or less 60 million.
Yes.
Nicola, so to follow up question on that, from that local cost of 15 million, can we use this 15 million on the infrastructure cost or any other cost that is within the local cost, right?
Yeah.
Infrastructure, construction of the buildings.
Yeah.
And let's say our in case we are financing the remaining 40 million euro, including the 15 million equity of ours. That makes us compliant to the OECD rule of financing, having the 15% upfront of investments. And let's say if the project is more than 100 million, let's say 150 million,
Mhm.
150 million. But in that case, if we are, let's say not 100, 150, 200 million, let's say double, let's double everything. And
Okay.
also equipment is 90 million.
Okay.
In that case, we still have 15 million euro, and our equity is still 15 million, not 30. And we are also planned to finance the remaining construction and local costs. Do we have to, so by OECD rule, our 15% advancement upfront 15% becomes 30 million, right?
Yeah.
And do we have to, do we have to make it, we still have 15 million, do you have to find 15 million before applying to such and, do you have to show such that we have 15%, which is 30 million euro advanced before applying to such? Is that so?
Yeah,
Because,
yeah. Because 15% that on 100 million is 15 million, on 200 million is 30 million. 15% is the minimum, absolutely the minimum that you have to provide. But is not, I mean, we cannot assure that is enough. So it depends by their assumption of risk. They could say we need more than 15% by your own. You have to provide more. For instance, I was just to speak about the project finance we are dealing in these days. The entrepreneur has to grow more than 50%. They had to grow 30% because project finance is much more risky than let's say a supplier's credit or a buyer's credit when the company has assets, revenues and so on already established. So I mean in supplier's credit and buyer's credit 15% generally speaking is enough. In project finance several times they need more.
Okay, Nicola, just to make sure, another thing, in project financing, since such as going into project financing scheme, for the local cost, this the financing of this local cost has to be also, does the local cost has to be also, made sure, it is because to such a go into project financing, do we have to make, do we have to solve the local cost before applying to such a for the project?
It's not easy. It's not easy because Italian banks, but also other banks that are not locally present in Mongolia are not going to finance a local company unless covered by an insurance. So it could be SACE, it could be Allianz Trade, it could be COFAS, it could be Atradius. But in any case, any bank for foreign relation needs an insurance coverage. And by the way, the insurer are covering mainly their own country's exports. So we could, let's say, solve this problem if some infrastructure would be built by Italian companies or by German companies or by French company. So we could involve the insurance company from that country, or let's remain on Italy to make the thing easier. If the building would be built by an Italian builder, constructor, I mean, the Italian share would be larger. And so SACE, assuming the evaluation of the sovereign guarantee, could give you more. I'm well aware that building a structure, if you appoint an Italian company, is much more costly than appointing a local company. It's obvious. But the problem is that SACE is allowed to cover Italian export plus a share of local cost, but a share cannot reach 50%.
So in our situation, we have 15% equity, 50 million. Let's say project is 100 million and we have 50 million of equity, and SACE would like to finance 55 to 60 million. Let's say 55. And we have remaining 30 million euro that needs to be solved for the local costs.
Yeah. Actually, let's suppose 45, 5 more or less, it doesn't change. I mean, just to understand, 45 of Italian equipment plus 15 million of local cost that SACE could cover, it makes 60. Plus your own 15 makes 75. If the whole cost is 100, you miss 25 million.
Yes.
Those 25 millions can be covered maybe, well, I have to, but you are, more aware than me, which foreign banks are present in Mongolia. I don't know, maybe, let's suppose, Raiffeisen Bank, Deutsche Bank, I don't know, Crédit Agricole, I don't know. If any, let's say, European bank or Arab bank, would be present in Mongolia, could be involved and maybe could finance the project, if they like it, even without such as coverage.
Yes.
But how long will this process?
Or I beg your pardon, Dava. But I have to check with SACE. Sometimes happens that there are bilateral agreement between Italy and a country, and Italy says, I'm available to finance, let's say, 1 billion for the next project that will be jointly evaluated and so on. So in that case, it would be a sort of using a share of the funds provided by the Italian government to, let's say, Mongolia, saying, okay, please insert this project. Of course, your own state has to lobby for that, saying, please insert that project within the list of projects that you are going to finance in our country. So in that case, we could upgrade, but frankly speaking, by now, I can check, but by now, I don't know whether there is any bilateral agreement between Italy and Mongolia for developing your country,
Юугаа асуух вэ? Ер нь бас бичгээр бүрдүүлэлтийн юу тэрэн дээр ингэж одоо бид нар бол өөрсдийнхөө хэмжээнд тэд зүй юугаа боловсруулсан. Тэгээд энэ дээр та нар шигнэл ревю одоо шалтгаан санчгийн банкд бол дээр ингэж тасвар хөгжүүлэлт хийх үү? Тэр бол хэмжтэй. Гэтэ би бол хажиж асууя гэж.
Тэгээд бид нар нэг яг өөрсдөө хөгжлөө шалтгаалтай.
Did you discuss with SACE in Shanghai, in Dubai, or with SACE in Rome, in Italy?
No, we don't have direct communication with SACE.
Okay, one of your suppliers discussed with them.
Yes.
Okay.
We just talking based on their given information.
Okay. Well, what I could do is inquiring care of SACE directly, asking whether they have any specific agreement with Mongolia And so let's see if we can improve, I mean, they can improve the usual share of financing scheme they are used to apply.
We have just recently contact with Italian embassy in Mongolia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
On that note, we would like to start that dialogue from our side with Sache.
Okay, okay.
This
And,
project owner is the Ministry of Agriculture of Mongolia. So our Minister of Agriculture did have meeting with the ambassador of Italy.
Okay, okay.
So
Deva, how is called your company?
Darkhan Leather Complex.
Darkhan
Yes. Leather
Complex.
хэлэхгүй тэрийг хийчихгүй тэр бид нар чинь судлаач биднээс ч авсан судалсан байж болно.
Тэр бол цаатны мачтай холбогдоод энэ Монгол төсөл саяхаараа яриад ингээд нэмж болохгүй ингээд саачаад яг энэ сагууч нэмэх юм яригдаад ч үгүй юм байх шүү дээ. Тэгэл нөгөө компанитай манай зөвлөлтөй холбогдож асуудал үүсгэн. Тэгээд та нар бол энэ талаа чимээгүй бичиж юу ч хийгээрэй гэдэг.
Чи хэлчих тэр юм чи. Би нэг юм хэлчих. Тэгээд дараа нь чацаа. Because of non-direct communication with Sacha and our we don't have much experience with expert in financing these facilities.
Yeah.
Just now we need to know the whole process duration, how long it will take.
Hard to say. Yeah.
With sovereign guarantee.
Okay, okay. So, you know, when we are speaking about, just to give you an idea, a supplier's credit takes 1 month, 45 days, something like that. A buyer's credit, a little bit more, but maybe in a couple of months, maybe maximum 3 months, we could arrange an operation like that. When we are speaking about project finance, we are entering terra incognita. That means, who knows? For instance, it happened us to work for a year. For a year. Okay. Yeah, I would say don't hope to finish it before 6 months. Okay. If everything is everything is fine, everything goes smoothly, okay, we can consider 6 months. But several times, because those operations are very, very complex, it could take even more. For it, just to give you an idea, on the project I was saying before, the waste to energy, we have to arrange a legal due diligence on the concession, an environmental study on the effect, and so on. Yes. A juridical assessment of the economic terms, a budget plan, a business plan issued or audited by one of the major, let's say KPMG, Ernst Young, someone like that. So I mean, there are several steps to follow, and sometimes they do it, they have to revise. So it's not easy. That's the reason why I say not before 6 months, but who knows? Sometimes the Minister of Finance doesn't reply immediately, and so on. So,
Nicola, the follow question on your answer. Let's say the legal, in terms of legal aspect and environmental aspect of the project, and also the technical technology aspect is very sound, let's say. And of course, the procedures will take quite certain times, just as indicated in such a procedures. for what we are worried about is the economic aspects of the project, our feasibility study in economic terms, economic assessment calculations, market analysis, business plan, etc. So of course we have surveyed and prepared our such documents, but we are a little bit cautious that these documents are not up to the standard of such a in this aspect, is it one of your services to review these documents and if necessary improve and develop so that make it bankable documents for such and banks?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have a format of presentation that we are currently, following up for our client in the relationship with SACE and with the banks, because don't forget that SACE gives an insurance policy, but the financing comes from banks. And so we have to rely on all that counterpart. But what we are not doing, we can give and coordinate, but for instance, the business plan has to be done or audited by one of the major. So for instance, as I say, the KPMG, Ernst Young, or one of those. I don't know if you already have a business plan, done and revised and audited by a major international auditor, I would say.
So in this business plan, etc., if we ourselves can't produce it up to such a standard, this should be done by international professional audits, maybe.
Yeah, if not done, at least audited.
And is it also, for the market study, quite frankly, when we produced our market analysis, we bought a European market report, and we concluded our market analysis on that report. And this report was around 4,000 euros of fee. So I personally don't know if it's up to such a standard. So what is your recommendations on this? Can you do it for us if there needs to be improvement?
Listen, there are a few companies evaluated by SACE. SACE will never give you a strict details of names, because it's a sort of conflict of interest. You know, they cannot market for others. Right? Okay, but by word, they say, if your business plan is audited by one of these major companies, is okay. If the legal opinion is done by an international, good level law firm, is okay. And also the technical and economical study has to be done by, for instance, we used RINA. And as far as the market analysis is concerned, there are a couple of companies, one is a free and so on. Just to give you a rough idea, the market study that we provided, but not us, is a free, as a company specialized in that, costed to the companies something about 20,000 euro. And it was to assess the Albanian market of energy. But in any case, we used to work by coordinating such a request with the independent firm report. That's not to us. The company, in this case, you are going to deal and pay directly the law firm, the market survey company, and so on. What we can do is discussing with banks, saying, this is the company that would issue the report. Is it good for you? I mean, they are going to give you this and this data. Is it enough, or do they have to calculate, for instance, step by step, it happens they say, listen, you didn't perform, it was in that case KPMG. They didn't perform stress analysis. And so they had to add a stress analysis in their previously issued report. So, I mean, we are working as a coordination between the company who is that appoints the report, the specialized firm, and such, and banks that are asking, we need this, and that.
Mhm. Okay. And all these aspects are very important. It affects the issuance of the loan.
Yeah.
Market study, business plan.
Absolutely. When we are speaking about project finance, yes. Whether you were an established company, tenant company, and based on your statement of accounts, you have to purchase an equipment, a new equipment, it's much easier because you know from your statement of accounts which are your assets, which are your revenues, which are your profits. And so we say, okay, they have to purchase a 2 million equipment. Okay, they are in condition to repay in 5 years, for instance. It's much easier. But on project finance, they have to take in consideration a lot of issues.
Okay, and so that's very interesting answer, because we are newly new company.
Established. Yeah,
newly established company, and right now our main objective is to implement this project.
mm-hmm.
If we change from project financing to buyer's credit,
Mm-hmm.
and only engage with such on the equipments, exporting.
Yeah.
So does that make does it make our financial procedures, as you said, the length of financial procedures to 3 months and 4 months, because we newly established company, we don't have such business activities, so that's very
Yeah. Well, actually, it would be much easier because I mean that implies that you have roughly 50% of the financial needs by your own. You only need financing Italian export equipment. So I mean, 50% of down payment is needed anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, we are going to evaluate the sovereign guarantee because, of course, if you are a greenfield, you are a newly established company, you do not have a creditworthiness by yourself. But I mean, there is a sovereign guarantee, so it's much easier.
And for the buyer's credit,
is there, let's speak about Mongolian banks. Are there international banks that operate in Mongolia?
Not yet.
No?
No.
I see.
We not yet allowed the foreign banks in Mongolia.
I see. So, I mean, we have to individuate one bank that, I mean, can be available to receive money from abroad and finance the local company.
Yes. 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 In the case of buyer's credit with sovereign guarantee, the procedure will be much easier than project finance. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you say 3 months time.
Yeah. Could be reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable. Okay, okay.
And
But with 15% down payment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
And do we have to make sure that does the remaining 55% of the local costs, all the local costs, has to be finalized before we applying for buyer's credit?
No.
Well, allora,
I'm also very. Mhm.
yeah.
I think not necessary.
Not necessarily whether
Yeah.
sovereign guarantee is
Yes.
well done. You know, I mean,
Yes.
if the Ministry of Finance says that upon first request they intervene, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it must be very clear, I mean, unconditional.
Юу шүү нөгөө би миний бодлоо зөвхөн имагрыг саачагийн зүгээс ингээд дэд бүтц барилгын нөгөө санхүүжилт нь тодорхой биш байхад шууд ингээд зээл баталгаа гаргаад ингээд тоног төхөөрөмж ирээд ингэждэг. Тэгсэн чинь яг хувийн шиг ингээд
Sovereign guarantee.
тэгэл та.
Yes. Yes.
For the buyer's credit scheme, does the
Mhm.
business plan and market study? I personally worry about these things. For documentation, does this also as important as the? Do we still need to? Do you think? Do we still need to outsource professional companies to do market study for buyer's credit? Or do you think ours is enough?
Well, a little bit less contingent for project finance, but in any case, as you do not have a statement of accounts, I mean, we do need a business plan. You know, the file, the record has to be quite complete. So the more we can provide, the easier is the process. But in any case, if we start the operation, I can maybe provide you some, let's say, sample to. I can't say to copy, but I mean to take
Get
in
the idea of
consideration. Yeah.
quality of the documents.
Hmm. And the Italian company, you know, where are based the Italian companies that you contacted? I mean, in the northern of Italy or in the south? Because Tenerife, as in Italy, there are where?
Santa Croce, and I heard that
Santa Croce.
manufacturers of Italian equipments are very well dispersed throughout Italy, right?
There are three main locations.
Yes,
One
main
is
locations.
in Veneto, and the other is Santa Croce in Tuscany, and the other one is Solofra in the south of Italy, close to Napoli.
Nicola, for this equipments, we didn't much engaged in the negotiations of equipment prices and proposals conditions. So, since let's say if you are coming to our project as a financial advisor to us, you can you have expertise and knowledge to negotiate and have a
Sure, I can provide you in after our call. I will send you. Well, actually, I'm afraid I don't know if they have a website in English or not. But in any case, I will provide you the website of ASSOMAC. As I said, is the Association of Italian.
The link, yeah.
You may visit. I mean, I'm in touch with the director of that association. And if you wish, I mean, I can coordinate with him to put you through the proper company, because according to your need, your technical need, they can say, listen, that company and that company are very specialized in that. I think, I mean, they can cooperate with us in that.
Okay, it means the price of equipment, we will negotiate directly with the manufacturer.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
And for this, as said earlier, we say 45 million euro. It is approximate. We will negotiate in the future.
In the meantime, what I can do with SACE is asking them whether is there any specific operation by the Italian government to provide assistance, let's say, to Mongolia, because I know there is with Indonesia, with many countries. So it's a sort of push strategy, they call. So let's say Italian government say, I will support that government. Of course, most of the money that I lent to them have to be used to purchase Italian equipment, of course.
Yes.
On that note, Nicola, we would like to first, we have some advisor working for us on such a matter, but we are very unsatisfactory of their services. So we will first finalize and make from our side everything and come back to you later maybe. And so after that we can start, because there's already a certain connection and communication line to SACE, and there could be misunderstanding at some sort of like this. So for you,
I'm sure
for us.
You know, I'm sure in Mongolia works as in Italy. I mean, in the ministry, if you have to go into a ministry, you have to know, because there are hundreds of doors to be open, and there are only a few that work, the other are useless. So, I mean, if I would have to deal with the Mongolian Minister of Finance, I don't know from where can I start. And SACE is a ministry, is a branch of the Ministry of Finance, and you have to be used to deal. It's not a matter that they, okay, Nicola asked us 100 million, I give. Of course not, of course not. But I mean, I know who are the person that can give us the proper replies.
And one more question. I heard that CIMEST also works as a CIMEST as an organization that provides subsidiary for the interest rates, and so that so can we also include CIMEST in this transaction and maybe lower our interest rates? Is that possible?
Listen, CIMEST has two main core business. One is to lower the interest rates on the loans covered by SACE. So that means if an Italian manufacturer exports to you some equipment and allows a deferral of payment, of course, I mean, is burdened by interest rates and insurance cost, the all-in interest rate. CIMEST intervene lowering the spread. Okay, so that means I mean the company, it's a benefit of the Italian exporter, no, not of the importer. That means when the Italian exporter sells to you an equipment allowing a 5 years deferral payment, after the sale, you are going to pay in 5 years. But the Italian company goes to SACE, to a bank, to a forfeiter, saying, okay, I will give you the credit and you pay me upfront. So, I mean, of course, the banks or the forfeiter or SACE itself make you pay a price for obtaining immediate cash. Okay. CIMEST intervene in that. So, I mean, the spread between the face value and the upfront payment is compensated by CIMEST. But of course, as the exporter knows it, applies a lower interest rate to you, because they know they do not have to pay market interest rate, but CIMEST helps them, okay? So when we arrange a supplier's credit, a buyer's credit, or whatever else, I mean, the intervention of CIMEST is embedded. Okay, included. Okay.
Okay.
The other opportunity of CIMET that we call internationalization is to enter in equity when an Italian company becomes open, let's say, a foreign branch. So would there be an Italian investor within your company? So I mean, a NewCo, Darhan Leather Complex, let's say 60% Mongolian, 40% Italian investor. CIMEST can enter up to 50% of the Italian investments. Okay, so for instance, if an Italian investor would invest 40 million in your venture, in a joint venture with you, CIMEST could enter for up to 8 years into the ventures with 20 millions. But only if there's an Italian investor.
Okay.
It means briefly for the benefit of Italian
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also there was a head organization, CDP, on top of
Cassa Depositi e
CIMEST
Prestiti
CDP.
let's say the head is the state-owned bank. Cassa Depositi e
What is
Prestiti.
the advantage? Is there any advantage when CIMEST, such and CDP?
Well, you know, the intervention of CDP, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, that means more or less saving and loans bank, something like that means 100% owned by the state, acts as a bank. So the evaluation of the operation is going to be done by SACE. But when we have to involve banks to finance the operation with the coverage, the insurance coverage of SACE, one of the banks can be Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, CDP. So, I mean, they put funds, that's it. They put funds up to 50%, they never took the whole operation. They always remain lower than the most involved banks. So, for instance, whether, let's say, Unicredit or Intesa San Paolo would do the operation themselves without a pool, GDP could enter 50%. So let's say 49 and 51 Unicredit.
Okay.
Would there be a pool where there is Unicredit, Intesa, BNL, let's say 5 banks that takes 20% each? GDP enters maximum 20%. So I mean, they are never the most involved banks in the operation. They join the others.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nicola. Very helpful and
you're welcome. It's my pleasure. And I'm gonna take that prior information in case there would be some exceptional specific situation involving Mongolian. And then I don't know, you can make your consideration and then we are ready to discuss once more on the issue.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, and good evening, because I guess it's evening over there. Okay,
Goodbye.
thank you. Bye-bye.